souls have no beginning or end. Sometimes it's hard for us to blend, cause we don't follow any trends. We don't die, we only transcend. All souls have no beginning or end. Sometimes it's hard for us to blend, cause we don't follow any trends. We don't die, we only transcend. All souls have no beginning or end. Sometimes it's hard for us to blend, cause we don't follow any trends. We don't die, we only transcend. All souls have no beginning or end. Sometimes it's hard for us to blend, cause we don't follow any trends. We don't die, we only transcend. All souls have no beginning or end. Sometimes it's hard for us to blend, cause we don't follow any trends. We don't die, we only transcend. All souls have no beginning or end. Sometimes it's hard for us to blend, cause we don't follow any trends. We don't die, we only transcend. All souls have no beginning or end. Sometimes it's hard for us to blend, cause we don't die, we only transcend. Ooh, mama, ooh, mama. Metasize. Amun, the high priest, grand hyphen of Metasized Ministries. Let's go. Check
Every day I pray, in the street we dey hustle dey pray for this love that no fit make us see the way. So we really want touch again, make better sense, make it show us, make it right in us, make it show us the way. For all the same, we have to keep on, like a moving train. Never know, have mercy on me, I don't believe in life of a sinner. Better silence, show us the wisdom. Cause if they come, we go against them. And if they rise, we go stand against them. All the same,
let me
and
say,
justify
come again,
me.
metasize. Let me say, come again, metasize. Let me say, come again, metasize. Let me say, come again, metasize. I'm one out, the street love. Check it, and it's all one out, the high priest, and that ain't no chemical tech drinking the sunshine, study as baby, but the energy is got my spirit has no limit. Access to watching and protecting us every single minute. COVID-19 can stop me from collecting the cream, cause I'm a keyword. Making sure friends don't pass out, it's no room, it's in the bloodstream. I'm the high priest, and I play my position worldwide. And if I face my machines, outlaws, present but remains unseen. Outlaws, present but remains unseen. You chant black lives matter, why you in this building getting lives? And you think you lying to 12 targets and black soldier shots. Join at the science industries and stand by my side. You million us, raise one fist in the air. Put you on 53. Our minds corrupted by a digital screen. The truth is, looking for a life to see. Give thanks for life, give thanks for the breath. We are the strongest, we're the last ones left. And check one more time with the high priest on one now. Metasize. Give thanks for life, give thanks for the breath. We are the strongest, we're the last ones left. Let me say, come again, metasize. 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 Grand High, day London, UK, delivering blessings to all my spiritual warriors that day across the globe, especially my spiritual warriors in Nigeria, Delta State, River State, and Lagos. Freedom, my cosmos, freedom, like a runaway slave, freedom, like I just got paid, freedom, 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 come on, freedom, 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 freedom. All my queens, let me hear you say freedom. All my kings, let me hear you say freedom. All my gentlemen, let me hear you say freedom. All my brothers, let me hear you say freedom. All my sisters, let me hear you say freedom. Don't your fists in the air to show that you play the high breeze and the freedom fighters on the road. Worst nightmare. Let us prepare to damage and tear. This new world order that is treated us unfair. First solution is a Russian. This is a freedom song, so sing along. We're a million men strong, the war is on because Babylon did us wrong. The time is now. Be awake to broadcast the news that is fake on the high breeze. When I get high, listen it. When the war is over, heaven on earth is what we're going to create a high breeze. And it's with the flying soldiers and it's freedom fighters. It's time to concentrate. Elohim forgives us our sins. No hell, no begins to destroy the evil freedom. Freedom, freedom, freedom. Freedom, 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 like a runaway slave. Freedom, like I just got freedom while I'm smoking the J. Freedom, every single day. Let me hear you say freedom, freedom. All my queens, let me hear you say freedom. All my kings, let me hear you say freedom. All my children, let me hear you say freedom. All my brothers, let me hear you say freedom. All my sisters, let me hear you say freedom, 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 come on, freedom. Don't get fist in the air too short, like you get the high breeze and the freedom fires on the ledge. Worst nightmare, let us prepare to damage and tear. This new world order that is treated us unfair. First solution is a Russian. This is a freedom song, so sing along. We're a million man strong, but war is only cause Babylon did us wrong. Freedom, 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 come on, freedom, 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 freedom. I can't hear you, freedom. Say it with your chest, freedom, freedom. All my queens, let me hear you say freedom. All my sisters, let me hear you say freedom. All my children, let me hear you say freedom. All my brothers, let me hear you say freedom. All my sisters, let me hear you say freedom, freedom, like a runaway slave, freedom, like I just got freedom when I'm smoking the J, freedom, every single day. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Now, before we start, we first must give thanks and praises to Amun Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, El Elyon, El Shaddai, Yahweh, Adonai, Marduk, Melchizedek, Al Qadir, Usa, Uset, Heru, Anu, Enki, Ma'at, Pata, Rastafari, Haile Selassie, Meta Science, to mommy, to daddy, to granny, to granddad, to the ancestors, and to the Most High. Bismillahi ar-Rahmani ar-Rahim. La ilaha illallah. Greetings, my spiritual warriors and my Metal Science soldiers. This is the High Priest, Grand High of Metal Science Ministries. Amun El. Ya done know Metal Science. And welcome to the Metal Science Ministries Reasoning and Fellowship Show via Omega FM Radio.co.uk, aka 104.1 FM, and also on YouTube Live and Instagram Live. If you want to see the High Priest of Mon El live and direct in 4K vision in Omega FM Radio.co.uk's headquarters, all you have to do is go onto YouTube, type in on YouTube search engine Amun L, which is spelled A for Africa, M for magnificent, U for upliftment, N for Nubian, space L, which is spelled E for El Elyon and L for love. And you click search. As you click search, you will see the High Priest of Mon El in his High Priest attire, looking cool, calm, and collective as one of those black leaders that we have been searching for, that have been written in all the scriptures. Smash that red button that says subscribe and hit that bell icon so you can be notified when High Priest Someone Else going live, and also when High Priest Amun L is dropping new content. As you can see on the YouTube channel, High Priest Amun L has released his long-awaited track, which is called Freedom Metal Scion Song, as you just heard. We are in a new era. We have moved forward from the C word era and we're in the freedom era. There is so much war, evil, atrocities that is going on that High Priest Amun L has had enough and had to make a track called Freedom, because we need to liberate ourselves, not only physically, not only mentally, but spiritually, because we are in a spiritual warfare that has caused a physical warfare, not only in Ukraine, not only in England, not only in Europe, not only in Africa or in the whole world, but within ourselves. Within ourselves. Now, the High Priest, someone else. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is the High Priest Amun L. And the High Priest Amun L has got a special topic tonight. And we are going straight to it. We are not doing our elongated prayers tonight because the High Priest Amun L has an imperative, a very imperative topic that we need to discuss tonight, because it is an emergency. It is an emergency that we must discuss this topic. But before we discuss this topic, the High Priest Someone Else will do the Meta Science prayer, which is the most important prayer of the show. Because we have to give thanks and praises to Atum Ray, Amun Ray, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, El Elyon, El Shaddai, Yahweh, Adonai, Marduk, Melchizedek, Al Kadir, Usa, Uset, Heru, Anu, Enki, Ma'at, Ptah, Rastafari, Haile Selassie, Meta Science, to mommy, to daddy, to granny, to granddad, to the ancestors, to Yeshua Yamashiach, and to the Most High. Bismillahi ar-Rahmani ar-Rahim. La ilaha illallah. We give thanks and praises to the Most High for protecting us and guiding us away from the evil and wickedness that exists in the planet and in the cosmos. We also give thanks and praises to the Most High for the grace that we receive in every single moment that we live and in every single breath that we take. We also give thanks and praises to the Most High for protecting our loved ones, especially our loved ones on the other side. We also give thanks and praises to the Most High for the prosperity that we experience in our lives. We also give thanks and praises to the Most High for the blessings that we are aware of and we are not aware of. We also give thanks and praises to the Most High for sharing this power or this feeling called love that is expressed and felt in every day and every morning and every breath in our lives. And lastly, we give thanks and praises to the Most High for protecting us and guiding us and being our shield as we walk the path of righteousness, so we can enter the kingdom of heaven, which is Zion. Amen. Amuna Sheo, Meta Science. Now, the High Priest Someone Else has one question for all you kings and queens and gods and goddesses. Are you ready for the main event on the Meta Science Ministries Reasoning and Fellowship show? I cannot hear you. Are you ready for the main event on the Metal Science Ministries Reasoning and Fellowship show via Omega FM Radio.co.uk, aka 104.1 FM, and also on YouTube Live and Instagram live. Give me a hell yeah! I cannot hear you. Give me a hell yeah! Now the high priest, someone before we get into the main event, wants to give a shout out to Nick Nack Paddy 8 on Instagram Live and also for Powers for Breakfast. Thank you for supporting the high priest, someone L on Instagram Live because we are about to go live and into the main event on the Mental Science Ministries Reasoning and Fellowship show. But before we go live, or not before we go live, before we enter the main event, the high priest someone else has to say this. Now, for the hundreds that are on Instagram Live and YouTube Live, and for the millions that are listening via Omega FM Radio.co.uk, aka 104.1 FM. Let's get ready for the Meta Science tonight on the Meta Science Ministries Reasoning and Fellowship show via Omega FM Radio.co.uk, aka 104.1 FM. The High Priest Amun L is going to be talking about tonight if Pan-Africanism is genuine or it is full of bleep, i.e., if it's full of nonsense, if it's full of poo-poo, caca, because the high priest Amun L is fed up. Before we get into it, high priest Amun L is going to take a real quick break. You're done now, Meta Science. Freedom, like a runaway slave. Freedom, like I just go. Freedom, 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 freedom. Come on, freedom, 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 freedom. Let us say freedom, freedom, freedom. Come on, freedom. Let us say freedom, freedom, freedom. Hey, freedom, freedom. Hey, just freedom, freedom. All my queens, let me hear you say freedom. All my kings, let me hear you say freedom. All my gentlemen, let me hear you say freedom. All my brothers, let me hear you say freedom. All my sisters, let me hear you say freedom. Pump your fists in the air to show that you care. High priests and the freedom fighters of the Lord. Words nightmare. Let us prepare to damage and tear. The single world order that is treated us unfair. First solution is a Russian. This is a freedom song, so sing along. We're a million men strong, the war is on because Babylon did us wrong. The time is now to be awake to broadcast the news that is fake. I'm the high priest when I get high levitate. When the war is over, heaven on earth is what we're going to create a high priest and his mental science soldiers and his human fighters. It's time to concentrate. Elohim forgive us for our sins. No bells, only wins. Destroy the evil face of it. Freedom, 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 freedom. Come on, freedom, freedom. Come on, freedom, freedom. Like a runaway slave, freedom. Like I just got freedom when I'm smoking the J, freedom. Every single day, let me hear you say freedom, freedom. All my queens, let me hear you say freedom. All my kings, let me hear you say freedom. All my children, let me hear you say freedom. All my brothers, let me hear you say freedom. All my sisters, let me hear you say freedom. Freedom, freedom, freedom. Come on! Freedom. All right. Now, welcome back to the Mental Science Ministries Reasoning and Fellowship show via Omega FM Radio.co.uk, aka 104.1 FM. This is the High Priest, Grand Hyphen of Mental Science Ministries. Amun L. You done know Mental Science. Now, High Priest Amun L wants to give a shout out to John Carpenter 784, Jem Wingate, Imo Josa, back your chat. We're not giving a shout out to that person. That person don't deserve no shout out. You follow that. Now, High Priest Someone L. High Priest Someone L is here live and direct tonight. And we're talking about Pan-Africanism, if it's genuine or if it is foolishness. We don't want to say the real word because we'll be off the air. You follow that? And I pray someone else is not about that life. You follow that? I pray someone else bit disappointed, very disappointed. The other day, one of the high priest, someone else, guides, you can say, mentors on the radio, said to the high priest, what's wrong with you? I'm hearing your last radio show. People were upset that you're talking down on the radio station. It sounded like you're having a breakdown, a mental breakdown, a meltdown. And high priest someone else had to think deeply for what his mentor was saying. She also said, high priest someone else, you better check yourself. You better check yourself. And see how you were used to be talking on the radio before and how you talk on the radio now. And you know what the high priest someone else was thinking? The high priest someone else was thinking, you damn right I better check myself. And you damn right are sure that you're right. Because high priest someone else's tone has completely changed on the radio station. High priest someone else been on this radio station for at least 2 years. Since 2020, high priest someone else been on this radio station. And the high priest someone else has kept it 100. Now, Nick Nat Padley, thank you for your support. Love from you, all the way from Jamaica. I want you to come on live very shortly because we got something to say. High priest someone else just wants to say this real quickly. So, high priest someone else was checking himself. And he knows when he was talking back in 2020. High priest someone else was ignorant. High priest someone else had a lot of enthusiasm for the black community. High priest someone else was foolish. You follow that? Or naive, for a better word. High priest someone else was naive. And you know why the high priest was naive? Because he thought he can depend on black people, and he thought that he can have faith in black people. You follow that? And through life experiences, high priest someone else had to learn the hard way. He had to learn the hard way because mommy and daddy was shielding the high priest someone else from the evil and wickedness of this world. And high priest someone else didn't believe what mommy and daddy was saying. High priest someone else thought that being with the black people, you are going to prosper, you are going to make it on another level. However, life experiences, incidents, problems with the fellow Negroes, especially in the UK, has given the high priest a conclusion that, to be honest, he's not saying all the black people are evil and wicked. He's not saying that. But the majority of them are evil and wicked. The majority of them, 99.9% of the black people are evil and wicked. And high priest someone else delivers that raw, rough, and rugged, razor sharp truth. Because when high priest someone else is talking on the mic, it is not a joke. He is not playing. He sacrifices his time, his energy, and most of all, his spirit to come on this radio station every single goddamn week. And is it worth it? Is it worth it? Well, that's for you to decide, my kings and queens and gods and goddesses. So many that say that will buy the high priest someone else's side are no longer to be found. Many are called, few are chosen. And high priest someone else believes that once you're in right knowledge, you know what? Let's not even talk about that. Once you embrace the meta science and you accept the meta science for what it is, you are no longer living in a lie, in an illusion. You're living your truth. You are knowing thyself, knowing your own truth, having self-realization, self-actualization, DNA explosions to the point that you believe, not even you believe, you are in the knowing of what's going on in your reality. Because remember, my kings and queens and gods and goddesses, the Most High will give you signs, indicators, and also warnings of people, of coincidence, not coincidences, because there's no such thing as coincidences. It is what it is. And it's for you to have that self-realization, DNA explosion, cognitive, no. Awareness for you to be able to understand and understand person, places, and things. Why these person, places, and things are in your life. Because it's not a coincidence. It's designed by the grand architect of the universe. Everything the Most High has done in your life is for a purpose, for your awakening. You follow that? Now, we got 10 minutes. Nick Nat Paddy, I want you to come on live and speak truth for I prove someone else. If you don't come on live, it's okay, because we still got footage of our reasoning we had earlier on in the day. Now, the time difference in JA or in Jamaica is different to the time difference in UK. Right now in UK, it is 10 to 9. Okay? Now, I pre someone else is going to give it a couple of minutes. And if Nick Nat Paddy is not coming on, we'll just play the sound bites, what we were discussing earlier on this afternoon, UK time. Look, High Priest Someone Else is a veteran in terms of the Black conscious community. He is a veteran. He's been doing this thing for a very long time, almost 10 years. Well, not even 10 years, more than 10 years. He's been aware. All he wanted from this community, our community, is to unite and be one and be strong. However, the problem is there's a lot of jealousy and envy in our community. Now, Nick Nat Paddy is coming online. Let's just plug her in. Let's plug you in. Let's receive the request. Accept. You're going live. Now, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Greetings. Rahuba. How are you doing?
I'm doing great here in Jamaica.
That's wonderful.
Greetings, UK and the rest of the world on the Meta Science program. This is Amun L.
So go on, Queen. Tell the people then what we were talking this afternoon. And please, no profanity, because we're on the radio.
Well, um, Amun L was telling me about his last show and the fact that the crowd and who the crowd was that supported him and how disappointing it was. Yes. Pan Africanism has watered down. And this was the summary of our discussion at the end of our discussion. It is very sad.
Why is it sad, my
In
Queen?
the beginning, I was reminded of Pan Africanism as a young child, and it was vibrant, and everybody was saying, Africa, Africa, fight for the rights of the Africans. Yes. However, after a while, everybody went to Africa. Some of them got robbed, some of them got raped, some of them got killed. Nobody wanted to remain. If they remained, it was because they had some business opportunities. And some people stayed and went through the rough of it. But the fact is, we and the other diasporas still have a bone to pick with who is left in Africa. And this was one of my points. In our DNA, in our minds, and in our souls, we're still saying, why did our brothers sell us into slavery? We're still angry with our brothers there because of this. We still desire to know what it is like to live in Africa. But 99.9% of the stories coming out of those who travel in Africa, it is very rough, it's very difficult. Who is in Africa is refusing who is coming into Africa. So now we go back to the Pan-Africanism and how it has watered down. People make money and get rich off of Africa, the motherland, the songs. But when it's time to fight for Africa and to do the real action, no one stands up. This is very sad. So yeah, Pan-Africanism has watered down, to put it very nicely. If you can play some of the voice though.
No worries,
Yes,
Queen.
because
What one more thing, because I know you're gonna go soon, yeah. And to be honest, we've only got 5 more minutes left until the break, and then we're gonna come back after the news. You said something that was imperative about Ethiopia or Abyssinia, and to do with the Mali brothers or the Mali family as well. Can you please explain the problem in Abyssinia or Ethiopia?
okay, we were talking about Tigray and Ethiopia and the 4 year long famine and rape against the Tigrayans, and no food is being allowed into Tigray. I hear about Ukraine and I hear about Russia, and I've never heard any artist or any Marley speaking about stopping the war in Tigray, and they reside in His Imperial Majesty's residence there in Ethiopia in Addis Ababa. And I've never heard them sing about it. I hardly hear about the war in Tigray. How many people can really say that there's a war in Tigray? It's been going on for 4 years. And if you've seen the footage of them burning the bodies and eating them,
Wow.
their fellow brothers in Ethiopia, then it would make you sick and wonder, why are we looking at Russia? Russia is white people. Why are we looking at them? Why are we not looking at our brothers? Why did we not look at Somalia when America attacked Somalia while Russia was attacking Ukraine? Why did we not support our black brother at its event? So Pan-Africanism has gone into a quote-unquote money-making venture where who knows about Africa can come back and sell shea butter and diamonds and crystals and cry Africa and don't mean Africa. This is what we're talking about. This is the root of what we're speaking about.
No, of course, Queen. Exactly. You said it. It's all about enterprising and business. That's what Pan Africanism has come to. It's not going back to the roots of Marcus Garvey. It's not going back to the roots of Gaddafi. It's not going back to the roots of Black Panther. It's all about just monetization and just being fake with it. It's about it's just trendy. It's trendy.
It's trending. It's making money off of something, off of our foundation that we should be looking towards going back to and rebuilding. There is no hope in the reality of it happening. There's only dreams and only people like A can fully bad enough to go out and do things and other people around and have money car. Yes.
No, absolutely, Queen. Absolutely. You hit the nail on the hammer.
Yes.
So do you have anything else you want to say before you go?
We should start researching from where we are. Do not be uncomfortable if you are nowhere or just a little where. We spoke about this earlier in our conversation that for Christianity and all religions, that's 3 degrees of knowledge. And we could start wherever you are, your 1 degree and 2 degree. You're going up to 720 degrees of knowledge. 360 spiritual and 360 physical. How much degrees are we? You have logic that are 33 degrees. Let us not be fooled by what's going on around us on the media. Let us study for ourselves or we will be entrapped. Let us become the real Pan-Africanist that once existed, that set the trend, that made the name, the real true Pan-Africanists that have died, like Mandela, like Marcus Garvey. Don't be afraid. There's no one to hurt you in this time and age because we have a media thing that we can create for everything. We're staying away from the media. You are a source of media. I'm on your live and I can say to the entire UK and the entire world that is tuning into your program right now and they will listen. Don't give up. Don't give up the groundwork. But don't give up the research, my people, my Black people. All people came from Black. The white people that supported you, I love them too because they came from me. I'm not prejudiced because we're all equal. For example, when a white man dies, he becomes 9 ether or he resurrects and nature takes care of him. Nature takes care of everybody on every level. Who can rise, who cannot rise. So there is no basis for prejudice, right?
Go on, Queen.
Yes. So we need to research, we need to chant, we need to find our roots, we need to know where we're coming from so we can know where we can go on to. We need to find out our language. We need to find our origins. We need to vibrate on our intonation when we speak a European language. We make their gods live. We were talking about all of this earlier. So we need to research. For example, you have a Christian, you get a learning Bible. The learning Bible tells you, okay, Genesis comes from the Enuma Elish, the Gilgamesh epics, the Amarna letters. You're like, wow, what are these books? And then you get interested. And then it tells you about Job. And in the learning Bible, it would tell you that there was not a man named Job. It was just a book of poetry. It's just a book of prose, yes. And so we need to research from there and then go into languages, go into Hebrew, go into ancient and modern Hebrew, go into cuneiform before the vowels were added because they're called the sun and moon letters or the Sakun letters that were added to the cuneiform, the consonants, to change the sounds, the original sounds. Yes. Queen Lash, yes. We're Hebrews, we're everything right now. We're so mixed up, we're so mutated. Segregation is a must because, not a big prejudice, because our DNA structure is so different and it's hard to mutate and lessen your genes and lessen your generation to come. Those are the only things. So things that you would say are prejudice are actually facts, and medical scientific research shows these facts and proves these facts to be true. You have DNA structures that are superior. A black man's DNA structure is the greatest, and everything comes from it, and everything else is a clone of a Negroid. Yes. So we need to study languages. We need to vibrate on our true vibrational forces, our ancestral vibrational forces that were stronger, like Queen Nanny of the Maroons and the Suriname Maroons that trained her. You hear about Nanny of the Maroons, but you've never heard that she was trained in Suriname before she came to Jamaica, or what Jamaica was called then. Yes. So it is research. No matter what level you're on, we need to go back to what Pan-Africanism was. And we spoke about the word Africa, and the reason why we cannot unite as Africans, because the word Africa means to divide or separate, and was given to the landmass Tamare, Ta Earth, Ma Water, Ray, Sun, by the goddess Europa. And every time you say Africa, Mama, Africa, it means to divide or separate. Why would you want to say it? And we're in 2022 and we don't know that. So we really need to save ourselves. We really need to save our nation. We really need to save our genetic link, because every other race is superior in restoring their genetic links and their genetic traits. They're even putting in barytheric glands or the rest of your brains into their brain, and they're trying to travel metaphysically, spiritual traveling. They're trying to do everything, right? They're trying to do everything now.
Hold up, Queen, because you're saying all these kind of things. You get it. However, if we have that power to travel spiritually, metaphysically, etc., and we are not using our potential, do you blame them for even doing that? Because we're wasting all our potential. Instead, we're just killing each other. Yeah, and we.
That's why I said there's no prejudice, Amun L. They are doing great. They have been cloned, they have been doing superior, and we have been in regression, complete regression. We are a sorry, sad story right now. We are.
I get it, but why? Why? It's like, okay, someone was saying about we are the Hebrews, Israelites. Yeah, one troll is saying that. Yeah, and I say it like that because it's true. Yeah, and you can like, okay, you see, Kemet. Okay, I, I used to be. No, hold up, Queen, hold up, because I just want to say the Kemet part. Yeah, and related to the Hebrew Israelite. So before we became Hebrew Israelite, we were, I wouldn't say we were on bondage with Pharaoh, but we worshipped Pharaoh as the Most High. And that's facts. That's 100% facts. When you saw Pharaoh, that was Most High. That was Most High there and then in the present, in the flesh. That was Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That was El Elyon in the flesh. However, when you read in the Tanakh or in the Torah, in Exodus, and they talk about Moshe or Moses or Musa, and it talks about that story that Pharaoh became arrogant, and he digressed or transgressed and started believing that he was bigger than the Most High, that he was the highest God. Now you take over from there.
That's the Bible, right?
That's the Bible. That's the Bible. I'm just saying it in that sense because
And for every book, we have a reference point. For
exactly.
every book in school, we have little asterisks or little stars put alongside it to give you where it came from. And when you read the history, there was not a man called Moshe, Musa, or Moses. So let's come again. I'm still listening.
Okay.
There was not a man called Job. There was not a man called Moses. There was no such person. So you get to learn from the Learning Bible, from the King James Learning Bible. This is beginning now to research from Christianity, from the book, from the Bible. That there was not a man called Moses, and so many stories that we read did not happen that way. And just like Pan-Africanism failed you at your event, the Bible failed me when I was just studying. Honestly. As simple as that.
No, I hear that. And I'm just saying it like that as a reference just to people that, you know, symbolically. That's it, exactly, symbolically. Because
if it was real, you're saying if it was real.
I'm saying it in the sense that Moshe, as in, symbolizes the emancipation of our people from Pharaoh. Because remember, Kemet declined because of this arrogance, because the Pharaoh started to become corrupt. And that story is like a metaphor or a myth that you follow that. What one is saying is like a metaphor explaining, because remember, we are the Hebrew Israelites.
You would have to leave the story and go back to the facts and remember that the landmass of Africa was, we had the school of Bastet, we had the school of hygiene, because you had Caucasoids coming up from the Caucasus Mountains, coming down along the Nile River, polluting it because they did not know how to bury their dead and they did not know proper hygiene. So we had Abraham a Chaldean. Chaldea means abode of demons. And so you had the Chaldean Abraham going up into the mountain and Imhotep making the pig to eat up the bodies, the dead bodies that were polluting the Nile, the blue and the white Nile, and affecting those living in that landmass. So you had the Caucasoids leaving the Caucasus Mountain and traveling, making that journey. And according to their DNA structure and their lifestyle, they were given rules. Now, when they came over into the landmass, their true nature is to learn everything you know and to kill you and take over and pretend to be you. That has been their true nature above Earth's realm from Maldek coming down to Earth. So maybe if what I'm saying sounds strange, it's okay. Study from where you are. If you love Christ, you would study him and you wouldn't be in church for so many years or into your Muslim or any other religion you are and have not topped your researches. That means you're way behind and your love is not strong enough. Yes, so once you reach there now, you would reach to where I am, because I started wherever you are and were and will be for a long time. It took me many years to reach where I am. And through the help of the master teacher, Dr. Malachi Ziyar, I am now where I am. School, history, world history, everything, right? So to speak of something that never existed, we would have to go back to the truth and to the facts. And the fact is that when they came into our landmass, we taught them things, we put them through school. Now we have the Holy Cat, or the Basque Catholic religion came out of that. And so the pharaohs were God because they had supernatural DNA, they had supreme DNA. They could do more. Imhotep Zoser said where they get their religions and where the books come from. Yes, they worship them. And yes, they were also human. So they were disagreeable and agreeable. To be a human is to be agreeable and to be disagreeable, because it's lower than above Earth's realm. to live on earth, you have to be part reptilian and part spiritual because your soul is encased within your flesh.
Hold
I'm
up.
trying to
Hold up, Queen, because you're saying them kind of thing there. But what about Usar or Osiris?
Asar. That's what I was saying that you had supreme DNA that's watered down now because we keep mutating our genes by breeding, mixed breeding, and this is not prejudice. This is facts. When we mix breed, we break down our DNA and become lesser and lesser. We can become like Asar again.
Or Isis or Set?
Or yes, I said yes. According to the different levels and time eras, they were given different names. The sounds were broken down. Like we were talking about the Sukun letters, why they were added to cuneiform was to change the original sound so we couldn't vibrate on that vibration or level anymore. So when we say Mary, how far is that from Isis?
A
So
very long
far.
time.
When we say Jesus, we're saying my swine energy. Where the J is just about 600 years old. How
Exactly.
far is Yeshua from Jesus? There's a difference why it's not normal to change the names of people. If my name is Anaiba Mechumaat, it cannot be Nikki now. It is still Anaiba. There is have to be a reason why the language is changing, why it's taking you away from your original sounds. Because when you pronounce a word, your insides vibrate and open and close and accept the energies from outside. So we must start researching. And when we do this, we will develop that love for our brothers and sisters over in that landmass that sold us into slavery and allowed us to be here and had to struggle and fighting to even exist here where we are, Jamaica, the West Indies, America, we are still upset. I am still upset that my black brothers and black sisters sold me into slavery.
Of
Everybody
course.
is still upset. Everybody is scared to go back to that landmass.
Are you
And
ready
when
to?
we do, I've heard horrific stories of when they did, some were
Okay,
raped, some were
I'm
killed,
gonna call you. I'm
some
gonna
were
call you in
robbed.
5. Yeah.
They had to hurry up and come back home. So we want a better overlay. We want a better outlook. We want better life. We want a better genetic stance. We want to be able to save ourselves, and we must research. We must research whatever problems we have it right now, whether it's Pan Africanism. I remember when I was going to high school, once you were brilliant, once you became an AP student or an advanced placement student, you were taken to these black, I went to black awareness classes with Bill Cosby, Maya Angelou, and we went inside Catholic institutions in Harlem that had sub basements way down. My class was held on the third sub basement. Inside of these buildings is like a maze. I got lost. You're walking a quarter mile, seeing only payphones. I got lost once looking for the restroom. My classmate had to come get me and said, look here, there are levels to this place that you cannot go into or you may not return. And
So what? You
I
telling me you got
remember,
initiated in these schools?
I'm telling you, once you have done well in your research and into schools, you have black celebrities that teach you. This is one of the reasons why they tried to attack Bill Cosby because he took the young students like myself from high school and you were given a place in the sorority, aka Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, highest sorority, and a placement in all the best schools, and you were given training to become black warriors for your black race. And they are afraid to come out and say these things and to do it out loud because they will get killed. And we are afraid. So we're a bunch of cowards. I'm not afraid to say that we become a bunch of cowards.
No, I hear that. I hear that. I'll be real with you. We got like 5 more minutes left because I've got another guest that wants to come on. But I wanted to ask you. So, like, for example, you see Jay-Z. Yeah, because remember, he got the right knowledge from the master teacher. True or false?
True.
So what do you think he's doing right now? He's got dreads now. He's doing the whole Pan-Africanism, but what's his real agenda?
He's at 33 degrees of knowledge right now, and he's climbing up in his knowledge band. So allow him to climb, allow him to stop wherever he wants to stop, allow each and everyone to do whatever they're doing, because he's actually higher in research than you are and I am, and we need to get there and pass. You can stay stuck, you can move on, can anything you want to do. Remember, we're going up by degrees of knowledge. Okay? So 33 degrees of knowledge is something that I want to be fully in and pass, because it was a witchcraft at first. The word was called wit, which means wisdom, and that's where it started. And when they came into the landmass and became evil and started to kill us off and steal our scrolls, they couldn't understand the language, yes. And so the wit became witchcraft because they had to put in place humble numbers to make up for what they couldn't understand. And so you'll get their Freemasonry coming out of the word Mason and the group of Masons like Marcus Garvey was a Mason. And right now, Jamaica economic is based off of all of his teachings, right? So we are the lodge. We are the original lodge. We are a 720-degree lodge set of people to teach the rest of the nation that came from us. Even the cloning of a Caucasus or a Caucasoid was our doing. So they're ours, they belong to us. We cannot scorn them. They don't scorn us. They worship us. That's why they worship you at your event. You're their master. And it's not a joke, it's fact.
No.
And once we can speak the facts and live the facts.
You see, look at the time on my phone. It says 2021. 2121. So that's synchronicity. That's the meta science right there. You're done, no. But yes, Queen, like just to wrap it up and the conclusion about this Pan-Africanism, like what we're saying, if it's genuine or not, what are we going to do moving forward? How are we going to make, like, let's say, resurrect it? Yeah, because we're not saying that we have given up on our people. We have not said that, my kings and queens and gods and goddesses. And also shout out to all the people that are in the live, in Instagram live, in YouTube live, and also listening on omegafmradio.co.uk. You can call in. You can call in if you have any questions or any input you want to say on 0753 996 8143 or text 0753 996 8143. But yes, my queen, what are we going to do when we move forward? Are we saying that we can resurrect this Pan-Africanism? However, anybody that does this Pan-Africanism is always going to receive the bullet from their own people. So what do you have to say about that one?
We receive bullet from our own people for everything, not just for Pan-Africanism. And
for example, just sorry to cut you. Look at what happened to Usar. Who killed him? Was it the white man or was it his own flesh and blood?
Let us keep that for another session, whereas we can have callers come in and tell their version of the stories from the scrolls, because each scroll has a different say. And we will go back to the most ancient scrolls in this discussion, because, as I said, the story comes from way back and it keeps reproducing itself in different religions. And each time it is reproduced, it is changed. It is representative and symbolic of something from an age where you had agreeable and disagreeable beings that were supreme in DNA, and some brought about jealousy. Being on earth makes you sick, it makes you disagreeable. So if you have one being in one part of the earth and one that travels back and forth, that being that is here on earth is gonna become disagreeable. I'm speaking of the same story, but I'm not giving it away. I'm leaving it as a teaser for everyone out there to research the story of Asar. And then after Asar, he became Osiris. After Osiris, he became Jesus. But the story even comes from Set. So this is how far it's coming from. Which one is true? Let us dig all of them. You know, the Holy Tablets gives from Dr. Yard gives an example of all the different translations from all the different stories. Yet there is one that is so. But at the end of the story, you're gonna go back to genetic mutations. It's going to become scientific. Whereas who killed Asar, genetic mutation led him to that. His disagreeableness led him to that. His nature led him to that, and the nature does not change. So we segregate because of natures, DNA, mutations, avoiding of mutations, and avoiding of mixing of the mutations. So I would say, I know you're a dog. You will make me sneeze. I love you, but you gotta stay outside. That kind of thing we're getting to with the story of Asar. It's much simpler than when we researched it before. The more knowledge you acquire, the simpler it becomes. This is the only answer to what we're going through. And whether or not we research, nature is gonna balance us because nature lies in the balance. Whether or not we leave this realm properly or not, nature is going to make sure everything is regenerated. So don't feel like somebody's waiting on you. Don't feel like your black brothers in Africa is waiting on you. Don't feel like anything is waiting on you. It's you waiting on everything that's happening above you or elementally. What happened to Asar was elemental and genetic. And we must find the truth about this. The genetic setup, the DNA setup, the reason why the gods that we call the gods are the supreme DNA beings were the way they were. Once they came down to look for the gold to rebuild the ozone layer of risk, that's why the gold in that land was bountiful in Genesis. You had elemental beings coming to earth and becoming earthly, getting jealous and don't want to send back the gold to fix their planet, want the gold to make chain and all kind of things, and want to kill one another. The corruption, the pollution in the earth makes you sick and low. We're lower than the lowest form of electricity. Isn't that sickening? We have 10 different forms of energy of light, and we're lower than the lowest form of energy, which is electricity. We can't even take an electric shock. We're the lowest form of energy, and we used to be high. Wouldn't it be lovely to encase your flesh into your soul? Your soul is down into your body now. A little tip, a little tat. Would you like to know how to become supreme once more? Study, study, study. And open your mind to the Most High, that when you're studying, the Most High can say, yes, it goes so, or yes, it don't, no, it don't go so. No matter what, because the books are being changed, there's a level in that landmass when the Caucasoids came that they would never overstand, is because there were no books to explain that part. So let us be finished with the books, because the real researchers have finished away with all the books. The books that are here now are just to teach the others that haven't reached that degree of knowledge. We have locked on to the right vibrational frequencies and are getting taught from the higher beings through vibrations. We don't even speak much anymore.
Now I hear that, Queen.
The louder you get.
And the live is coming off, so we're gonna have to go. Okay, it says 4 seconds remaining. So take care. Thank you so much for your offering to the show. Peace. All right. All right. Now that was Nick Nat Paddy. She's a good sister, good queen, come with strong energy, as you heard. Now we are going to have a new guest come on via phone call, and this is coming from UK, London town. This is the High Priest someone else. Hold on. This is the High Priest someone else first sage. This is the man that taught High Priest someone else everything. Peace. Yes, I. The guy is okay still. How you doing, King?
I'm great. I'm great.
Can you please introduce yourself? The best way you can, or the way you feel comfortable, if you want. If not, you can remain mystery. You follow that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, no worries. Now, let me just say something before we get into this. This man, he is the first man to teach the High Priest someone else anything to do with black greatness or black supremacy. He is the first man ever, and I remember it like it was yesterday, where he planted the seed in my mind, and he nurtured that seed to the point where High Priest someone else is on OmegaFMRadio.co.uk tonight. And the High Priest someone else gives thanks and praises to you, my King, for teaching me and guiding me and protecting me from the evil and wickedness that exists in the planet, in the cosmos. Now, tonight, we are talking about if Pan-Africanism is genuine or is full of nonsense. And King, I want your thoughts on that.
Yeah. I'm just coming out of my bedroom. Right. All right, Brother Solomon, can you please repeat? Can you please repeat what you just said, please? You ain't said enough yet. Brother Solomon?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. Well, can you please repeat? What did you just say to me, then?
I said tonight on the Metal Science Ministries Reasoning and Fellowship show, we are talking about if Pan-Africanism is genuine or it is full of nonsense. Yes, because me and you, we have been there for our community. We have done the most for our community. And what have we received from our community? We have received F-O. You follow that? And not only us, the ones before us, like Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, Huey P. Newton, yeah, Joshua Yamashiach.
Many known and unknown. You know? Many known and unknown. What you have to be aware of is like you asked the question is the Pan-African thing, is it genuine? You see, it's not like anything in life, there's two sides to every story, you know? You know, a coin has two sides, yeah? So, you talk about that story, the reality, it will have two sides. You know? You've got people who are genuine, you know, and will put all their energy into it for the betterment of all. And then you get people who they're not really in it, they're deceivers. Remember the scripture tells us they're going to be great deceivers.
No, of course. You see how you're just coming with that razor sharp truth.
No, many will come in the name of the Most High, and they are tricksters and deceivers, and not innocent exposing. Don't come in all shapes and sizes, all forms. You know? Many will be genuine, many will not be genuine.
No.
Those that will do, like I say, say the righteous work, and then there's those who do the opposite, the unrighteous work. But each individual has to define for themselves who is who and what is what. Like I heard someone say the other day, there is no truth until you decide what truth is. If someone else is trying to define for you what truth is, then that, I mean, that it can't work. It can't work. You define what truth is. Each individual will define what truth is. You don't really need any outside intervention or interference.
Go on,
There's
King.
no truth in it. Yes. Okay, now, as one example, people who read the newspaper, there are people who will see the information on the front page. There are people who will question what they've seen. And there are people who will just accept what they've seen. They won't question it. They'll say it's truth straight away. They say that it's the truth. Even though they weren't there and never witnessed it. Then you have those who weren't there and will ask the question. So you have people who receive information and swallow it. You have people who receive information and they ask questions first. They don't just accept it. They ask questions, they look through it.
Now, of course, those are the truth seekers, yes. Of course. Now, this is what we're saying. Like, we are truth seekers. The majority of the people that are listening tonight are truth seekers. And we do our research. We do our thorough research. However, to stick on topic with this Pan-Africanism, there is many people in this in our community in London, UK, that say that they're Pan-Africanist, or that they represent the Marcus Garvey movement. They represent the ancestors. And then it's like, when you get to know them, you overstand and understand that they have a hidden agenda that is not for the people, but for themselves. You follow that?
Okay.
You follow that? For example.
See, once you're aware, the beauty is, once you're aware of it, you know how you'll be aware of how to respond to it. You know? So defeat is defeat, you know? And as we said, you've got the tricksters, they come in all different shapes and sizes.
Go on,
You know,
King.
they use words. Yeah. Yes, they use words to make it look like they're genuine and they're not genuine.
Exactly. Like the true light, the divine light, the light that's coming from the Most High will expose the darkness that is hidden.
That is what's going on right now.
Because we are in a time of revelations.
Okay, now. Okay. When you look at the this alleged war, not the word I use, alleged war, yeah? With Russia and Ukraine, yeah? Now, what's going on the planet, that is petty compared to what's going on the bigger picture.
Of course,
Okay.
King.
Anyone who's got sense, a molecule of sense left in their brain to decipher and work out and to fix sense from nonsense. Anyone who still has the ability to fix sense from nonsense can clearly see what is going on.
And what is going on, King?
Yeah.
For those who are not aware.
Okay. Some people cannot comprehend. Yeah, there's a spiritual war going on, yeah. And it's also war has been declared on Mother Nature. Yeah, a long time ago, a good while ago now, war was declared on Mother Nature. When they started to poison the air you breathe, the water you drink and breathe in, the earth you stand upon, the soil that the plants and everything, the fruit and the vegetation growing, this is an attack on nature. And they attack nature, they attack the universal prime creator of all things. Some people say the Most High, some people say Allah, some people say Jah. They use all kinds of words to describe the Most High. Yeah? These people have declared that they are greater than the Most High. When you attack the Most High's creation, that's a declaration. Some people cannot comprehend that these people have proclaimed, declared, and decreed that they are greater than Mother Nature, and greater than the Most High, the universal prime maker of the universe, all life, and all things. I just happen to be one of the ones that disagree with them. That they are greater than the Most High. I just happen to be one of the ones that disagree with them strongly. You know, they can't touch me, bro. They tried to on many occasions, they can't touch me. I don't believe who I am, I know who I am. And like one of the tunes that Bob Marley in a way that said, Bob, some of the words he uses in one of the tunes, he said, you've got no time to be deceived. It's best to know and not believe. The judgment could never be with water. No water can put out this fire. The fire of the soul. There's no time to be deceived. It's best to know and not believe. If you look at the word belief in a dictionary, it's to be unsure, to be uncertain, to not know. That's belief. Belief means to not know, to be unsure, to be uncertain. To know means to be certain, certified. Clarity is clear. Clear, no confusion. Knowing, in knowing, there is no confusion in knowing. Belief, once again, is confused. To not know, to believe, to not know, to be uncertain, to be unsure. So we're trying to keep it as simple and the easiest one as we can, brother, you know?
Yes, King, but we're coming off topic. Yeah, forget about them. We're talking about us as a community, us as a race. Yeah, listen. People are saying, yeah, and I'm sending it out to anybody who is African, that is from the motherland, that has come to this country and is persuading people to go back to the motherland and say that yes, that's where we need to be at. No, that's not where we need to be at, because out there is worse than what's going on in here. Because we got people in Nigeria, in Ethiopia, in Sudan that are held hostage and are being kidnapped by their own people. Their own people. And it is not no paradise out in Africa. There is no running water, no electricity, nothing that can stabilize the country. And we say that we are the supreme race on the planet, and our own foundation in Africa is messed up because of corruption, not of individuals, just of corruption. And this is what I'm trying to talk to you about, King, about this, about us, that we are supposed to be the supreme beings on the planet. However, we are not setting the example, and as a result, the whole planet is in turmoil because we are not doing our job.
I'm hearing you. I'm hearing what you're saying, and you know, sometimes you have to be a little bit more accurate in some of the words we use. Okay, what's going on there now? Well, remember, you know, not a bit, but the allegation, allegedly, this is going on there. Now, these things go on all over the world. Yeah, she's not the only, she's the continent. Yeah, some people use the name Africa. Other people use the word Akabadia. Some use the word Al-Kibuland. Whatever name you choose to use, yeah? Now, people behave in these ways all over the world, yeah? Even in this country, so forth. Yeah, so once again, we use the word corruption. Yeah? Now, a lot of people are confused. Remember, people's identities. Yeah, remember, a lot of this is due to division, divide and rule. A lot of this is down to divide and rule. When you teach people that they're different, remember, before invasion, a lot of the people that were living they say with nature in balance, in harmony to Mother Nature, in the universe. We could not do that. Something happened. Where it was that happened, maybe don't have to turn to explain for the full material right now, but in balance. Other people came into the land, people had different ways. Minister Farrakhan said our people were hit in the head. Mr. Farrakhan, the quote, said our people were hit in the head, and they are still busy from the blow. Yeah? Now, that doesn't, I would agree to a level with that statement, but not entirely with the statement, because a lot of us are not busy, a lot of us are stable, steady, and have clarity, crystal clear clarity. So now, I want to learn not to worry about those who are not doing the work. Those who are not doing the work, that's their business. My business is those who are doing the work. Yes, those who uphold the righteousness, those who uphold the ways of righteousness. Who don't want to do it? Because that's not my business. I know business with them. You've got a path, you stick on your path. Your thing's going to be sent to get your foot. Okay, now, okay. Now, this social war, this alleged war in the Ukraine and Russia. You have to look at the bigger picture of it. What I said about they attack Mother Nature. When they attack Mother Nature, they attack the Most High. Yeah? So this social war with Russia and Ukraine is getting off the real war. The real war. Remember, he's attacked Mother Nature. It's not rough. There's no hiding place. They'll find no hiding place. Yeah? But they think they can hide from the Most High. Well, Mother Nature said enough with the nonsense. We're at the stage now where anything that is not in balance with Mother Nature has got to go. Who doesn't like it, there's nothing they can do about it. She laid it down. You poison the water, go. You poison the air, go. You poison the soil, go. Goodbye. They didn't make this planet. They shut the planet with all these kind of nuclear bombs, all these kind of different things. The planet is still here. She replenishes herself. She replenishes herself all the time. She purifies herself all the time. And right now she's purifying herself again. But she purifies herself in such a way this time. Not in sync with her. What is not in balance and harmony with her. What is against her. Goodbye. Bye. I'm not going to apologize for these either. They're going to apologize for you. And they're taking their campaign, whoever they are. But these people, sometimes they show them on the television who they are. And then you've got the ones on the hidden hand, the ones that don't show their face, who are playing major roles in this thing that affect the planet in certain ways. Yeah? So right now, my brother, like you said, the motherland. The reality to me is everywhere in the motherland, the universe, the planet Earth, all the motherland. Yeah? But sometimes, like I said, some people have restricted it to the place today that they call it. But this problem that we speak of, by the way, people are doing what they're doing. Nowhere is exempt from it. It's going on all over the planet, yeah? And the reality is now, there's a cleanup going on, and cleanup, a cleansing. Anything in the way, it's got to go, though. It's got to go.
No, I hear that,
That's
King.
the nuance about Africa, the place today.
I hear that, King.
One example is Rwanda. Now, a lot of people who are not original beings, they had a go at Paul Kagame, the Rwandan president. Now they're very angry with him because, as you know, Rwanda is part of the Congo, yeah? Now the Congo is the richest piece of real estate on the planet. 90% of the Congo comes from the Congo. High percentages of gold, silver, diamonds, and all natural resources, treasures, yeah? The place is endowed rich. The Congo is so rich. The soil is so rich along with Angola. Angola conceived the whole of the continent by herself. The Congo conceived the whole of the continent by herself. So when you're telling me certain things, because I've noticed what you're saying, But at the same time, we've got to look at the big picture. Because there are things that people, there are beings that do not want us to see the reality, what is real, the truth. They want us to look at what they present, what they present to us. In other words, they try to divert your attention, distract you. But a lot of these things are distractions.
No, I 100% agree with you, King. But time is running out, and I'm gonna have to go because we don't have much time. But thank you so much for your offering to the show, and hopefully next week or next time we're gonna have a better reasoning. Okay. All right, King.
More love, life, and life to righteousness. There more love, life, and life to righteousness.
Yes, King. One. Peace. All right. Now, that was one of the high priests, someone else, sages, or how would we put it, master teachers that taught high priest, someone else, the basics, the foundation of black supremacy. You follow that? And he was talking a lot of wisdom, and he was saying a lot of stuff, but we didn't really talk about the Pan-Africanism, about what's going on in UK, in London, in the whole planet. That's macro. Yeah, we were talking macro, but we need to be talking micro. We need to be talking what the immediate things that we are experiencing right now in London, UK. We can't be talking about other wars and all them kind of thing there. Yeah, we get it. That's part of it. But we need to be talking about black people as a whole in UK and in the whole planet. What are we doing? What are we doing? We are not bonding. We are not uniting. For example, in High Priest someone else's country, Nigeria, there's a war going on. You follow that? And it's a proxy war. You follow that? Involving Israel and Saudi Arabia. Now, in Nigeria, you've got the two main religions. You've got Christianity. No, in fact, hold on. Let me explain it more better for you. You've got three main religions in Nigeria. You've got Christianity. You've got Islam. And you've got cultism. Cultism. Now, obviously, everybody's familiar. Let me turn this off. Everybody is familiar with Christianity. Some people are not familiar with cultism. Cultism basically is juju, voodoo. Okay? Now, in the north, there's the Muslims, and in the south or in the east, there's the Christians. And in the north, you've got Boko Haram that are funded by the Saudis who want to pursue the Shia law. And then in the east, you've got the Biafra people, which is my people, that are trying to separate from Nigeria and say that we want our own land and we want to live in peace. However, each of these militias, you can say, are funded by either Israel or Saudi Arabia and have their own agenda. Now, what I learned today at work from one of my workmates, that my people are, I don't even want to say it, but are disgusting and absolutely despicable, because they are getting funded with arms, and it's only coming from Israel. That's the only place it's coming from. Possibly UK and America, but most is Israel because of the Muslim and Jew thing that's going on. Anyway, my people, I won't even say they're my people. They're getting arms. These thugs, these mercenaries are getting arms, and they're supposed to be fighting a war against the Boko Haram or Buhari. And as a result of getting these arms, you know what they're doing with these arms? They're going to innocent people, and they are holding them hostage. They are robbing them, kidnapping them, breaking their property, and saying, listen, you better support us, and we're going to take your money, and you buy us arms, you buy us our weapons, and you fight for us. My work colleague said that he cannot visit Nigeria because it's so dangerous right now that every Monday you cannot go work because there's riot on the street with these thugs, these armed robbers that are out there using gun to kidnap innocent people, their own people. Instead of fighting the war that they're supposed to be fighting against Boko Haram, they're killing their own people, and they're kidnapping and stealing their money. Now we got about 8 minutes left, and High Priest Amun just wants to make it clear. You see now, High Priest Amun is doing this Lent thing, and he's not been smoking no ganja, and as a result of not smoking this ganja, it's made High Priest Amun aware of this evil and wickedness that's going on in our community, and it's making High Priest Amun very sad, very, very, very sad, because when he was smoking the ganja numbed the pain. It numbed the pain. High Priest Amun was not intense and feeling these certain ways because at least the ganja gave him that little comfort. He saw the evil and wickedness, but at least it soothed the pain. But because High Priest Amun was not smoking no more, he's seeing it for what it really is. And the wall is no longer over his eyes. He's seeing the reality, the clairvoyance. And we need to fix up. We need to fix up. Because when High Priest Amun was out there, going out there for his people, when he was a young lad, when he was, let's say, 19 years old, and he was having the self-realization, self-actualization, DNA explosions, especially from that man that you just heard from, he would go all the way to Brixton. Yeah? You see that Brixton shop that used to be called All Eyes in Egypt? You see them people there? Yeah? High Priest Amun will be going out of his way there, Croydon, with the Nuwapians, trying to seek that right knowledge, right wisdom, and right understanding. And as they saw High Priest Amun determined, hungry for that right knowledge and right wisdom, they deterred High Priest Amun. They said, you know what? We don't want to give you that knowledge. We want it all for ourselves. You follow that? And it's with all of these conscious people that they claim that they're Pan-African. They see High Priest Amun rising, determined to help his community. But instead of embrace High Priest Amun, they rather bury him in the sand. You follow that? They will bury High Priest Amun in the sand. They will not be enthusiastic. Instead, they'll be hating and be jealous and envy High Priest Amun. And High Priest Amun, again, never took it to heart, was not emotional about it. However, he always thought that there's always good black people, because there is good black people. High Priest Amun was not saying there ain't no good black people. There is. But it's a very small percentage. And it's you and you and you that are listening right now that are the good black people. Do you agree with me, my kings and queens? That's how High Priest Amun was saying it. Because the High Priest Amun notice, you see Bob Marley? You see Bob Marley and the Wailers? You see how they bring Rastafari and made it global? Who supported him? Who supported Bob Marley and the Wailers? It wasn't no black man that put it on the map. It wasn't no black man. It was Chris Blackwell that believed in them and invested in them. The story goes with Bob Marley and the Wailers that they were outcasts because they were Rasta, and that no one was really supporting them, their own people. It's only when Chris Blackwell heard them and saw that they had the potential to be superstars that he put his money where his mouth is and supported them and made sure that they become immortal. You follow that? And this is what we're saying about this Pan-Africanism. Many are called, few are chosen. Many of those people that say they're so-called conscious, they're only in it for themselves. They're all con artists. And I'm talking to you right now. I'm talking to you right now. And you're listening to what I'm saying. I'm coming with that razor sharp truth. Because High Priest someone else sick and tired of all this lies and all this deceit from our community and pretending that we are supreme beings. And all it is just to take your money and deceive you. You follow that? Like what we said, the prophets, like Marcus Garvey, Huey P. Newton, Tupac Shakur. Who else? Jesus Christ. Who else? Khalid Mohammed, Gaddafi. They all died as martyrs for their people. And the people who persecuted them were their own people. It was their own people. It wasn't no white man that pulled the trigger. It was their own brothers that pulled the trigger on them. And this is not no make-believe. This is facts. Now the High Priest Amun is going to sign off because the spiritual doctor is in the house. And the High Priest Amun has got a special message before we go and do the last prayer. High Priest Amun has got an event on the 9th of April 2022. And this is the last event High Priest Amun is doing in partnership with Omega. You follow that? Because if nobody from this radio station comes and support High Priest Amun and whoever's listening to the High Priest Amun the High Priest Amun is leaving Omega. And that's not a promise. That's not no threat. It's happening. Yeah? That is happening. Because High Priest Amun is sick and tired of supporting his black community and there's no balance. There's no love coming from the black community. Instead, he sees the love from the white people. And you say that they're white devils? No, it's you who are the black devils. Anyway, High Priest someone else doing the prayer. We give thanks and praises to Atum Ray, Amun Ray, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, El Elyon, El Shaddai, Yahweh, Adonai, Marduk, Melchizedek, Al Kadir, Usa, Uset, Heru, Anu, Enki, Ma'at, Ptah, Rastafari, Haile Selassie, Meta, Science, to mommy, to daddy, to granny, to granddad, to the ancestors, and to the Most High. Bismillahi ar-Rahmani ar-Rahim, La ilaha illallah. We give thanks and praises to the Most High for protecting us and guiding us away from the evil and wickedness that exists in the planet and in the cosmos. We also give thanks and praises to the Most High for making sure that we have the clairvoyance and see the real truth, self-realization and self-actualization within our lives. We also give thanks and praises to the Most High for exposing the fake people in our life. And lastly, we give thanks and praises to the Most High for protecting us and guiding us and being our shield as we walk the path of righteousness to enter the kingdom of heaven, which is Zion. Amen. I'm gonna share Meta Science.
Media Radio 104.1 FM.
Yes, Queen, you're damn right. You're damn right. You know this already because we've been through it. We've seen it through the lockdown. We've seen it through the freedom fighters. But who supports us is the white people. When we support our own people, when we have faith in our own people, they don't support us. Instead, they hate on us, they envy us, and they're jealous of us. Anyway, High Priest of Montal is out. Thank you so much for your support, my queen. I wish we can speak frequently. I know you're doing your thing, I'm doing my thing, but one day, in Jesus' name, you're done now. Meta Science.